All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a book that completely changed how we see trauma. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's The Body Keeps the Score. We're going to break down the core idea, how these intense experiences don't just stay in our heads, but literally reshape our bodies and our brains.
So this quote really gets to the heart of it. The big idea here is that trauma isn't just a story. It's not something you just think about. It leaves actual physical traces. It gets into our biology, our immune systems, and it can fundamentally change our ability to feel joy or connect with people. It's a physical thing.
And you might think this is something that happens to other people. But look at these numbers. They're just staggering. These stats, highlighted in the book, show this isn't some rare thing. It's an epidemic, really. It's happening all around us, in our families, to our friends, our neighbors. The scale is just massive.
Okay, so numbers are one thing, but what does this feel like? What does it look like in a real person's life? Let's zoom in on a story to really get it.
So let's meet Tom. And on the outside, Tom has it all figured out. He's a decorated Vietnam vet, a hero. He comes back, goes to law school, graduates at the top of his class, and builds this super successful career. He's the guy everyone looks up to.
But inside, it was a completely different story, a terrifying one. He felt nothing, just frozen, numb. And the worst part? He was afraid of his own family. The sounds of his kids playing, something that should be joyful, would fill him with this incredible agitation. He felt like a monster, scared of what he might do. It's a total disconnect, right?
And this is what the book means by being stuck. It's that feeling of living behind a glass wall. You can see life happening, but you can't touch it, can't feel it. You have these explosive moments of rage, and then you're just drowning in shame. He'd be in a courtroom, a place where he was a master, and feel like he was just watching some other guy do it. He was a spectator in his own life.
So, this leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Here you have this brilliant, successful guy. Why can't he just get over it? Why can't he use all that willpower that made him a successful lawyer and just move on? What's really going on here?
Well, the book makes it really clear. The answer has nothing to do with willpower. It's all about what's happening inside the brain.
Okay, so think of your brain as a filing cabinet. Normally, when something happens, you create a file, you write a story with a beginning, middle, and end, and you file it away under past events. It's done. But trauma, it's different. It's like the event shatters into a million pieces. A sound here, an image there, a feeling in your gut. And these fragments don't get filed away. They just float around. And because they're not stamped with the past, they feel like they are happening right now.
And the reason this happens is because of a little part of our brain called the amygdala. You can think of it as your own personal smoke detector. Its only job is to sniff out danger. But after a trauma, that smoke detector gets broken. It's like the battery is low, and it just keeps beeping and beeping, screaming fire, even when there's no smoke, no fire, nothing.
And here's the really crucial part. When that alarm is blaring, it does something else. It basically trips a circuit breaker and shuts down power to the thinking part of your brain, your frontal lobe. The part that handles logic, reason, language. The part that says, hey, calm down, it's just a car backfiring, not a gunshot. That part just goes offline. It's unplugged.
There's this powerful example in the book. A Vietnam vet is shown a simple ink blot test. For you or me, we might see a butterfly or a bat. But for him, his internal alarm went off, his thinking brain switched off, and bam! He wasn't in an office anymore. He was back in Vietnam. He was reliving in full sensory detail the horror of holding a child who had been blown up. See the difference? He wasn't remembering it, he was re-experiencing it.
Okay, so let's connect the dots here. If the part of your brain that thinks and talks and reasons is offline when you're triggered, what does that mean for something like, say, talk therapy?
Well, this is where the book makes a really bold, maybe even controversial claim. It says that in those moments when that person's rational brain is shut down, traditional talk therapy is, well, pretty much useless. It just can't get through.
Think about that computer analogy again. It's perfect. You can't reason with someone whose reasoning brain has been unplugged. You can have the best therapeutic insights in the world, but if the computer's off, it just doesn't matter. The hardware is not running.
So if you can't start from the top down, with the thinking mind, what do? Well, you flip the script. You have to start from the bottom up. You have to start with the body.
And the goal here isn't to just smash the smoke detector or pretend the alarm isn't going off. You can't just ignore it. The real goal is to get in there and repair the wiring. It's about calming that emotional survival part of the brain so that it can get back in touch with the rational thinking part.
It's all about restoring balance.
So the path to healing kind of breaks down into 3 big steps. First, you have to regulate. You have to calm that overactive alarm system in the body. Once you feel physically safe and calm, then you can start to reprocess those scattered memory fragments and make sense of them. And once you've done that, you can finally reconnect with yourself, with other people, with life itself.
And what's so great is that the book lays out this whole toolbox of ways to do this. These are all bottom-up therapies. Things like yoga, which is amazing for learning to regulate your own body and breath. Or therapies like EMDR, which uses eye movements to help the brain process stuck memories. Or even things like neurofeedback, which is like physical therapy for your brainwaves. They all work on the body and the emotional brain first.
So, after all this work, regulating, reprocessing, reconnecting, where do you end up? What's the big takeaway here?
It really boils down to this one cool concept called neuroception. Think of it like this. Your nervous system has this subconscious radar that's always scanning your environment, asking, am I safe? It's not a thought. It's a feeling deep in your gut. After trauma, that radar gets all messed up. It sees danger everywhere. Healing is all about resetting that internal compass so you can feel safe again when you actually are safe.
And you know what one of the most powerful ways to reset that compass is? Other people. The book makes this point so powerfully. Social support isn't just a nice thing to have. It's a biological necessity. We are wired for connection. Feeling safe and seen by others isn't an option. It's a core part of how we heal.
So in the end, recovery isn't about forgetting what happened. It's not even just about getting rid of the symptoms. It's about something so much more. It's about finally being able to be fully here in the present moment, to be able to play again, to feel joy, to just feel alive and at home in your own body.
What this book shows us, more than anything, is that our bodies hold our stories. They keep a tally. They keep the score. Which leaves us with a really important question, not just for people with trauma, but for all of us. If the body keeps the score, how do we get better at listening?